welcome to Green Gain Insights. Our company specializes in safety, health and environmental law. My name is Liezl Sterne and I'm here today with our MD advocate Nicolai Massyn to talk to you about the new waste management regulations.
We're going to be talking about the three primary areas that it's changed. Firstly, we'll talk about waste classification. Secondly, we'll look at the temporary storage on site and what's changed there. Then we'll briefly discuss the waste documentation required, called your waste manifest system.
We need to classify our waste because we need to establish what the hazard rating of that waste and waste group is. The reason why we need this is because we need to know where to dispose of this waste to landfill or in any other prescribed manner.
Okay, and obviously hazardous waste is more expensive than general waste. So there's a cost implication to classify it correctly.
Definitely. Previously, in accordance with the old DWAF guidelines and also SANS 10228, which was used to primarily only classify our waste in terms of its properties as dangerous goods, many of the waste classes were classified as hazardous that in fact was not very hazardous to the environment.
Does that mean that all waste streams being generated on your facility, from a paper wrapper down to hazardous waste acid, needs to be classified?
No. The waste regulations has given us pre-classified waste that is categorized in two groups, namely our general waste and hazardous waste. Now, under these groups typically will fall your business waste such as paper waste, domestic waste, tires even, refuse, garden, things like that. And then under the hazardous, typically what you will use in everyday, such as your hazardous waste containers, your contaminated materials, as well as your medical waste.
Okay, well that means that we need to look at those annexures to the regulations to estimate what we need to classify and what's already been classified. On that point, what do we do with the waste streams that's been classified in terms of those old regulations called the minimum requirements?
Well, transitional provisions have been made in terms of these regulations that will give you a grace period of 3 years if you have already classified your waste in terms of the old regulations or guidelines, whereas all other wastes that has not previously been classified will have to be classified within 18 months from the promulgation of the regulations.
How would this reclassification of the fact that we've got new classifications, how does that influence all the documentation around our hazardous materials?
The regulations now stipulate that there are certain documentations that has to be kept by the waste generator, and it must be kept for 5 years. Records must be kept, for instance, your what type of waste, how much was accumulated on a specific day, who your waste disposal facility is, and all related matters. It also specifically gives us the waste manifest, which previously, as you know, with our audits, we always ask for the body of proof to illustrate the cradle-to-grave principle. However, now it's regulated what needs to be in that waste manifest.
Okay, and that is applicable to both from the generator through to the transporter and then through to the eventual waste disposal organization.
That is correct, and these records must be kept for another period of 5 years. Now, just to emphasize that all of these regulations and things that we've been talking about will only really start to be will only become effective in 12 months' time, because it's given the users a relative time to change their documentation, their waste management procedures in order to provide for all of these new provisions.
Thank you.